Hi there. So today I want to try something different. Let's see if just recording and talking at the same time works. There's probably some sounds in the background. I do not have a professional microphone or anything like that. It's a hot day. Windows have to be cracked open a little bit. Hopefully you can forgive me. Today I felt like talking about brush pens. And maybe not really talking about, but trying some. So these are the brush pens that I have been using so far. And let's say my favorite one is, so far, is Pentel Pocket Brush Pen, which I've had for many years now. I loved it so much that I even purchased another one when I noticed that this one's tip has started, well, it looks perfect still, but when I'm drawing with it, I feel like I can see that the line isn't as fine and as perfect as I would like it. So I purchased another one. But then, let me not get ahead of myself. The two other brush pens that I have are also Pentel, and I'm not sure what is the exact name of these, if it's just a brush pen. I have one in black and in gray. And to be absolutely honest, I have had them for years. They're still basically full. I do not like using them. The brush is fine, it's okay. It's a lot bigger. And it being bigger means it can, let's say, cover, it still has a nice tip, but it can cover bigger surfaces. But I do not like the ink in these. It is not waterproof. It is quite watery. The black is not as dark as I like. And what I especially like in black inks is when they create a nice smooth black surface if I decide to cover a bigger amount, let's say, or like a bigger surface. And this one does not do it at all. I didn't know that when I was buying them. I bought two, black and gray. I felt like, oh, that would be nice. I can have a little bit of play with values, but gray is even worse, I would say. So these ones I basically do not use. I thought I would. I don't like them. And also one thing, whenever I try them on different type of sketchbooks, I feel like the ink kind of sits on the surface and dries a very long time. So very prone to smudges. So these are out. I think I have some examples of drawings made with these, which I can show in a moment. But Pentel Pocket Brush Pen has been my favorite. I love using brush pens. I love the varied thickness of the line, the fine details, the bigger surfaces, the roughness, depending on the paper and depending how fast I work, how fast I move my hand, basically. But here comes the cool part, is that apparently this is not the best brush pen. And there exists apparently a better one. And I went and got it. And apparently it is Kuretake number 8. Or alternatively, I think number 13. Which the only difference is that the body of the pen is different. Number 8 is plastic, kind of elongated, and number 13, I believe, is, what is it, aluminum maybe? I don't know, just kind of more sturdy, maybe, kind of giving more of, also this is also plastic. Well, giving kind of, I don't know, maybe better feel, maybe a bit more professional looking. I don't know. I decided to go for this one. It's cheaper. And it came with 2 cartridges. Oh, big detail. Pentel Pocket Brush Pen is waterproof. The ink that comes with Pentel Pocket Brush Pen and all cartridges, because it is cartridge based. Here we go, this is the original cartridge. They all are waterproof and it is a great ink. I love this ink. Kuretake comes with non-waterproof ink. I believe it's some kind of sumi ink. And that's not what I like, but here comes the nice part. Because it's cartridges, there exist other cartridges and cartridge converters. Yes, cartridge converters that fit in Kuretake. And I also went and got some. Actually, the converter is on the way right now. It is supposed to be delivered today. But earlier I managed to get cartridges with carbon ink in black, which it's platinum carbon ink. It is supposed to be waterproof. And these are the exact cartridges that fit in the Kuretake pen. You can even see the shape is similar. And there exists also a converter, I believe it's also from platinum, that can be filled with the actual ink, which I think is much more, just comes out better price-wise. You get a full ink. I haven't opened it yet, so this is the first. Oh, that's a really nice bottle. So you get a full ink, you can fill up the converters, put them in the pen, and there you go. So today I would like to draw a little bit with this pen. As you can see, I have not put a cartridge in just yet. So this is all fresh, all new, and we'll see how it goes. So these I'm putting aside. I do not want to even start with non-waterproof ink. I don't know why it's not like I am going to use any other, I don't know, paint, markers, whatever, on top of this or with it. I like to use my brush pens alone. But I just don't like non-waterproof inks. If I can avoid it, I do. I don't know what to expect from it, but I do not want to know for now. So here we go. I also made a mistake and I bought converters that are just standard fountain pen converters. I don't know, I just did not read into what type of converter this pen takes, but I will keep them because this ink is fountain pen safe. Because that's the thing about the brush pens, they need an ink that is fountain pen safe. Non-fountain pen safe ink will clog them up immediately, will clog up any fountain pen. That's like the basics. But because I do have other pens that take standard cartridges, it means I can have a waterproof ink, black ink in every single pen I use, which is fantastic. So here we go, this is the ink. I'm very excited about it. I have wanted to use waterproof ink, as in kind of stop using the cartridges, because I just dislike the waste of it. They are quite big and they last quite a long time, but still it's just plastic. So just putting it on, using it, and then throwing it out, I do not like it. But at the time, when I was living in Poland, I could not find waterproof black ink just easily available on the market. Also in like affordable price, let's say, or not at all at the time. And importing from another country, just I could not afford that. So I'm very, very excited to finally be able to have this and try this. I know there's a lot of other waterproof inks on the market, one I remember is, I think, Noodler's ink. But yeah, tons of them. I had a list, I lost it because I did not find any at the time. But this one is supposed to be good, so I'll just go with this one. Okay, and maybe let me show you examples of drawings that I did with the other pens as a reference. So this is my very, very old Moleskine. It is so old that the elastic just lost its snap. It's just loose now. But it doesn't matter. I use it at home. It doesn't need to go anywhere with me. So let's see. Here we go. This is Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. It is an old drawing, and I do not remember if it looked any better years ago when I drew it. Meaning, I'm not sure if it is catching on the camera, but the black surfaces are a little bit washed out. It might have been me kind of saving the last of the cartridge, meaning I felt that it's running out, but I didn't want to just put a fresh one. I preferred to use it up all the way, and once the pen just literally stops drawing at all, then change it. But yeah, you can see how great this pen is with thin lines, although it can go thinner. Mine is just a little bit old at this point, and also nice big surfaces with like, even though this is a very smooth paper, it's a Moleskine paper, it has this like nice roughness when it's used very fast, very kind of light. So that's it. And then this one, I believe all of it was done with black. And that's, well, part of why I dislike the gray, because this is all done with black, even though all of these little spots appear to be absolutely gray. It's hard to say. You can see the surfaces, they're just not as nice, not as perfect. It's like the pen just kind of sits on top of the paper and doesn't like go in, doesn't really settle. Like it is a feel, how to say it? It is a bit of a, like trying to paint with watercolors on a paper that has a little bit of greasiness to it. It's like the paint just kind of tries to wash off the paper instead of actually clinging to it. Yeah, so that's it. I do not have an example of the gray. I just don't like it. I tried to use the black sometimes, like here, but every time I did, I was just not having a great time. So I just stopped, and gray I used maybe twice, and that was it. So let's put a cartridge in this pen. Let's turn to a fresh page, and let's just see how it goes. Okay. Oh, it's quite nice. It has like a little metal ball in here. I wonder if it serves a purpose, if it's like rattling inside to like help the ink. I don't know. Let's go. Okay, that was a bit tough. And now the question, what do I do for the ink to start rolling in? I think it's already going. Oh, that was very quick. Oh wow, I like this. I think it is slightly softer than Pentel Pocket Brush Pen because the line is very, very, how to say it? Well, the line reflects any slight tremble in my hand, which I usually do not have a tremble, but I'm recording a video, so of course there is a little bit of slight stress. Oh, this is very nice. It's super soft, so it immediately goes into a thick line. Very tiny, fast lines. Oh, this is lovely. You can totally see textures happening with this. Okay, I will get to sketching a little bit of guide and then drawing something. I'm not showing the process of sketching this portrait just because this video is already too long. The video is sped up by 30%. It's been my first drawing in quite a long time, especially with a brush pen like this. So let's say the beginning is a little bit slow. I always start with eyes. I think just because I find eyes to be the most important part of the drawing, the part that kind of draws you in the most, it shows a lot of emotions, I find eyes to be the most important part of the face and of the portrait. This pen is a lot more reactive than I thought, so if I want to make a very thin line and at the same time controlled line, it takes a lot of very specific control in the hand of like hovering the pen just delicately above the paper and at the same time guiding it exactly like I want. So the beginning, I would say, is much more rough than I expected. But I have to say, drawing with this pen is incredibly, incredibly nice. I think it would actually be even nicer if I did not try to make such thin lines. If I actually went for bigger format, where sort of my thinnest line is not the thinnest line that the pen can make, if that makes sense. That's something actually that I am really, really tempted to try and do with this pen, which is a big format drawing that has a lot of detail, but the big format allowing the detail to, at actual scale, be a little bit bigger, so a little bit more forgiving. As I said, the lines don't have to be that thin in that case. And I do like my drawings to be very detailed. I do consider my style to work best with this exact kind of drawing where a lot of lines, a lot of thin lines sort of create the dimensions. But the pen itself is amazing. I'm actually wondering about the other version of this pen, number 13, if maybe it being made out of a different materials it has a different weight to it, which might change the control of the pen. I am really curious about that. I'll have to think about if it's actually worth paying more money for it. As I was changing the angle of my camera, I unfortunately misclicked and did not record the rest of that first portrait. But here you have another portrait, since I wanted to fill both sides of this sketchbook spread. I've had some problems with focus of my video. I'm recording with a phone, so it's not perfect. So this video is sped up again by 30%, and I'm not showing the whole process. It's going to cut a little bit at different points, but I think it shows basically sort of the process where I start. how I continue from the beginning till the end. I think in this next drawing, just because I already started getting used to the pen, I understood a little bit more how it works, how to control it better, pressure and all of that. I think this portrait maybe technically is a little bit better. I think I like the first one more, but I think the control in this one is much better. And maybe it also reflects in sort of amount of shading I have decided to do here. Overall, I have to say, I think I like the feel of this pen more than Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. I definitely have more control with Pentel, which makes me think I am more likely to choose it on maybe days where I don't feel like my hand is really up to sort of this level of control. And for anything bigger than the sketchbook, which I am always tempted to do more of, this pen, Kuretake, is definitely the one I would go for. Mostly because of how nice it feels and the fact that I can fill it up without a problem with ink from a bottle, which just comes out better price-wise. And it gives me the same sort of range of possibilities as working with a brush and an ink, which was my favorite way so far to do big works. But this is just so much more convenient. When it comes to the ink, platinum carbon ink in black, I also really like it. I found that it dries maybe a little bit slower than I expected, which means that occasionally I had a little bit of a smudge, which I only really noticed when I looked at my hand. So that's maybe something that I have to keep in mind in a way I kind of move across the drawing as I'm doing it. But platinum carbon ink in black, as I mentioned earlier, is waterproof, but I didn't mention that it's also archival. It's light fast, which means that if I am thinking about doing an artwork that is bigger, which means they will not start changing color or lightening in color as they are exposed to daylight. I'm not planning to display my works, but I think it's a good habit for artists to create bigger works that are not sketchbook works, in materials that are light fast, that are archival, just to preserve them for longer. It is a habit that may just pay off in the future, who knows. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video, these drawings. If you have any questions about the pen, the ink, my process, anything like that, feel free to ask in the comments, and hopefully see you next time.